Hi, so I'm going to do a series of videos based on a blog post that I did, I think, last week about emotional avoidance through the elements. So, as you probably know, in astrology and other fields, there are four elements. There is air and fire, earth and water. And these are archetypes to help us understand our world. And what my article was about, you can see at andysway.com, is about the different ways of avoiding our emotions based on the elements. So I'm going to do a separate video for each element. This one is the introductory video. And so I just want to go over it briefly first in terms of all of the elements. And then if you want to check out the elements that relate to you, for example, your astrological sign, you can do that. So, for example, the air element is about thought. It's about your thought process. It's about a lot more, right? Because all of the elements are like 25% of infinity. It's kind of like breaking reality into four pieces conceptually. And, so forgive me for my oversimplifications here. Anyway, we avoid emotions through the air element by trying to make the emotions all about reason. For example, I don't know why I'm so sad. That's a normal thing to say, right? But the issue is with that there is a hidden belief in there. There is a logical reason that I'm sad. And if I knew the answer to that question, if I knew the reason, that would impact my sadness. And that might very well be true, but it might not be. What it might be is that you are using the intellectual realm to not feel what you're feeling, okay? And the intellectual realm is the air element, okay? Now, the opposing element to air, or the cooperating element, you could also say, is fire, right? So how could we use fire to block our emotions? Well, in the case of sadness, for example, so fire is passion, anger, action, right? So the way that we could use fire to block ourselves from realizing how sad we are is that we could get pissed off every time we get sad. You've probably known people like that. They get pissed off, and when they blow off all the steam of the anger, they start crying. And so what you find out is the anger was kind of a smokescreen for the sadness. Okay? So that's one way. Another way is that we could try to look good, put on our best outfit when, on Saturday night after we just got dumped and we're heartbroken. And so we try to use this fiery, sexy thing to block the fact that we're hurting inside. The earth element is an element about actual reality, right? So earth means reality, like physical reality. And on an emotional level, it could be about perfectionism and stuckness and rigidity, stubbornness, okay? And so one thing about the earth element, for example, would be Denial. I'm not sad. Stubbornness, kind of same thing. Denying, being stubborn in our denial. Another thing would be, I have no reason to be sad. Like, I look upon my situation. I have this much money. I have this partner. I own this house, whatever. How could I be sad, right? So it's a way to disconnect. An earth element way to disconnect. Now, the final element is water. Water is emotion. So how do you use water to block water? Okay. Basically, two strategies. You create extremes of emotion to block another emotion. Now, that extreme would either be, think of actual water, right? Water could be ice, it could be liquid water, or it could be vapor, steam, right? So water takes on these other things. So it could be more earth element is ice, fire element is steam, right? So that's one thing you find with water. Water adapts. Water has all the elements on some level. So, for example, you could use emotional frozenness to block out the emotions. You can, so think of it as that you're kind of using these other elements on an emotional level. So, for example, if you're using frozenness, emotional frozenness to block, like, I'm going to freeze these emotions, right? That is something that Scorpios, to the largest degree, so the three water elements, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. A Scorpio might use the air element of intellectualizing their emotions and the earth element of freezing and being stubborn and fixed and like, no, I'm not in pain, I'm not sad. So there would be denial, and it could even go into the fire element of angry denial. It goes into the air element of like, I've figured this stuff out so well that you can't even talk me out of it. And then the earth element, which I'm calling it when it's stuckness, frozenness, turning that water into ice, right? And that's a certain other form of denial. So the thing is, when you look at the emotions that you need to heal, you want to think, what is at the root of these emotions that I want to heal? What is holding them in place? What is supporting their continued existence? And when you break it down by the elements, it's just another tool, a conceptual tool, to help you get that crowbar in there and pry things apart. It could be really useful. So anyway, I will be making videos probably today, and they'll probably be posted very soon, going into more detail about each element and how these elements go into bolstering our emotional avoidance, which only leads to a continuation of our emotional pain and suffering. Anyway, if you'd like any personal help on working through your issues that might be emotionally avoided or stuck or over-intellectualized or whatever, then get in touch with me, andysway@yahoo.com. You can also check out my website, andysway.com, andysway.com. And you can make an appointment right on there on the website for all the different services that I offer. Thanks so much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that, and have a great day.